You told the Wall Street Journal that it is, quote, very clear to us and to the investigators that this was a person who was deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology. Can you elaborate on that and be more specific?
Well, sure.
And real quick, he initially he was pretty quiet about who this person was. He was trying to like toe the line. Look, all I'm going to say is if you're dancing around this and you're a conservative, you're going to get primaried. You're going to lose your seat. So I don't know why he was dancing on this, but he got the fucking phone call prior or to leading up to this interview.
That information comes from the people around him, from his family members and friends. That's how we got that information. Again, there's so much more that we're learning and so much more that we will learn. There will be official charges will be filed on Tuesday, and there will be much more evidence and information available then. And again, we're interviewing all kinds of people, everyone that knows him, and trying to learn more about what that motive actually was.
Well, some outlets are reporting that the suspect lived with a transgender partner. Is that accurate? And are investigators looking at this part of his life as a possible motivation?
Yes, definitely. And yes, I can confirm that. I know that has been reported, and that the FBI has confirmed that as well, that the roommate was a romantic partner, a male transitioning to female. I can say that that he has been very cooperative. This partner has been incredibly cooperative, had no idea that this was happening, and is working with investigators right now.
And how is that relevant to the investigation when it comes to the motive?
What did you say?
Are you learning that?
Sure.
Basically, when he talks
about that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Again, it's easy to draw conclusions from that, and so we've got the shell casings, other forensic evidence that is coming in, and trying to piece all of those things together.
You said that the roommate is being
real quick. I gotta make a quick note. This is the governor, Utah governor, not the mayor. But it took him so long to try to get us information about this person, and then they're still trying to be, even CNN, that they can't imagine in a million years that they have to have this conversation that's been knocking at their door, damn near knocking it down, that they have a leftist ideology problem. And this person checks a lot of the boxes, especially the whole furry conversation, and then as well as being the messages that were inscribed on the bullets, the whole fascist. That's only coming from leftists, and they don't know what a fascist is, because if that was the case, then you have to consider the shooter a fascist. So it's wild to me that some of these left-leaning networks are barely having the conversation, or they're trying to dance around it, because Dana Bash, she's definitely, she's a hardcore extremist leftist. Well, I shouldn't say extremist. She's definitely on the leftist side. But when it comes to like people on CNN and other folks, they do everything. They try to spin this. They try to act like this person, try to like poke holes in it. And they don't do this like when it's related to like someone that's conservative or far right. They don't do anything like this. They're very direct. They're aggressive with their questioning, and they don't let the person even try to dance around it, though. So I'm surprised to see Dana even, being mildly pleasant in this conversation.
One of the reasons why we can't solve problems in this country, TR, is because we don't ask the hard questions. So I'm going to semi-do that right now. One of the first things I text you when this story broke, and I remember this verbatim, I said $100 that this person is trans.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things I sent you, and then I said I'm gonna wait for all the facts to come out first, and then we're just gonna take it from there. And the reason why,
real quick,
I remember, go ahead.
Real quick, no one ever thought it was a black person, because Charlie Kirk, he rarely talked about black people. That's the funny part. He rarely talked about black people. Black people weren't his audience for the most. The majority of black people were not his audience. They definitely would have found some good insight from him, but I understand D.L. Hughley is probably a better person to get insight from, apparently. But I didn't think for 1 second it was going to be anyone that's black. someone that's or a woman. I knew it had to at least be someone that was either white, a white male, and they're either trans or trans adjacent. So
It was in Utah though, which a lot of people consider to be the reddest state in the country.
yeah,
So to be honest with you, I never for a second considered it like the race wasn't a surprise to me at all because it's Utah.
hmm
But I know the most crash outs that I've seen tend to be from people that seem to have some issues identifying what they are inside of
yeah,
their
from that
body.
community.
And as somebody who concealed carries, I'm a huge supporter in mental advocacy, mental health advocacy as well. So I think gun owners need to have more mental assessments, and I think something like that would have been helpful here. But here's another thing, Tr. That shooter was 200 yards away, 2 football fields. And I didn't think about this till I listened to Tariq Nasheed's radio show. He had somebody who was ex-military call in,
hmm
and he said, "There's no way this was a one-person job." I'm
Yeah.
I'm in the Marines, and I'm quoting him. I'm not actually in the Marines. This guy said he was retired from the Marines, and he said that anybody knows that anybody with the sniper usually has a spotter and usually a team of 1 or 2 other people. So this was a very calculated move, and it was planned and it was strategic. So I'm waiting to see if they can identify any other people that were involved here, because the average person, Tr, can't shoot from 200 yards.
Yeah.
So that tells me that this was a very special skill set, somebody who knows how to do terrain, make adjustments for the wind and the light and everything else. So I'm wondering if there's more than one person involved here. That's just me putting on my tinfoil hat a little bit.
Yeah. No, I've been hearing some stuff too, and there were some people around Charlie. Anyone doing any of these visits, you got to make sure that you get everything checked and you got a case around you, because you just don't know who is going to come after you for whatever reason. I know Ben Shapiro said he's gonna continue doing his college visits. I
Yeah,
don't
he
I
had to
don't
cancel his last one.
yeah. I don't know what Officer Tatum or Candace. I don't know if Candace even does them anymore, but Officer Tatum, I know he was doing them too. So I'll be curious to see if they're still going to continue the messaging though. But yeah, you cannot take these liberals for granted anymore. A lot of them are dangerous, and they've been radicalized these last several years. And we know what they look like, but a lot of people just are too afraid to have the conversation. And then when it happens, oh yeah, well, I kind of knew something was happening. Which in this case, and just like the Trump shooting, someone saw this person walking on top of the roof, and they didn't say anything. They already knew that this was already happening, or they knew somebody was up there, and nobody said anything. So, yeah, this is the amount of people that saw something and didn't say anything actually blows my mind too. I was like, why'd you even post it? Because now you look like an asshole.
And it's weird to me that the less response to this, they want greater gun control, Tr. But I'm looking at this like I want my stuff with me even more now,
Yeah,
because I
and they're the
can't
one
trust the
using
person
guns.
standing next to me. Yeah, I can't trust the person next to me to be sane and calm. I don't know how they're gonna react. I'd
Yeah,
rather have the famous quote of most gun owners is, "I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it."
yeah. Well, once some of these politicians, especially the Democrats, once they get rid of their protected security, then we can start having a conversation about other people. But they still want their security guards to have guns.
Yeah, I don't even like going to
Very
states where my concealed carry isn't doesn't have reciprocity. So I'm just
Yeah.
different though.
helpful. Has that individual explained to law enforcement what the mindset of the shooter was and whether or not it is connected to
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke
his
screens.
ideology or his situation as transitioning as
Yeah,
you
I'm
just
I'm
described
not
it?
I'm not sure about not sure about that piece right now, Dana.
Okay, so we're not sure if the fact that he was romantically involved, as you say, with his partner who was transitioning is relevant to the motive of the murder based on the
Look
investigation.
at her trying to disprove that. Like, that has nothing to do with him being trans. Well, if that's the case, then his parents being conservative has nothing to do with him or has more to do. Well, it's not a doesn't mean he's conservative. If they're going to go down that line.
Yeah, they got to keep that same energy if they're going to use that argument.
Yeah, even the way they present the event is presented to us, uncensored across the internet, wanting to dominate social media, very high level orchestration. Yeah, I will agree on that too, though, because it was everywhere, and even though you couldn't find it on some of the other platforms, they still found a way to like put some of those details out there. So I don't know. I've always said there's always been a problem with these tech companies. They have not been they've never been held accountable. Mark Zuckerberg was just at a meeting, the tech conference with Trump, along with Google. They have not been held accountable for the things that they did back in 2020, the amount of censorship that they did, the amount of nuking of accounts that occurred, and mainly occurred from people on the right. So now they're in, I guess they're rubbing elbows with Trump, but I wish Trump would really like say like, look, I'm glad you guys are donating money and trying to, help build America, make America great again though. But we got to talk about what you guys did, because those companies, they nuked his account. So I know they gave it back to him eventually though, but yeah, it's these social media companies, they're also scumbags too, because they're slow to remove any of this negative comment, these negative content. They let it sit out there for 1 million of views. At least on X or / Twitter, at least they can get you a community note, and then that will let people know like why this is cap or not. But yeah, this is mind blowing to me about how the social media companies, how they become lazy, and they've just pushing, and the algorithm is just has a mind of its own with this whole thing with Charlie Kirk.
I was very surprised because I saw the video on Instagram. I mean, Instagram and Facebook never show people.
Yeah, I'm surprised you saw it on there.
Yeah, it was like right smack dab in the middle of Instagram. My wife sent it to me. I thought I could only find it on Reddit, but it was on IG for a long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Reddit's another one too that they show a lot of crazy stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, sure. Again, all of these things we're trying to figure it out. I know everybody wants to know exactly why and point the finger, and I totally get that. I do too. And so I just want to be careful, as I haven't read all of the interview transcripts, and so we'll have to.
He's doing a lot of dancing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We should all be careful. I guess just because that's out there are a lot of people drawing conclusions.
Now, is that
so
the pot on the kettle black?
From you, since you have been involved in the investigation. And on that, the social and gaming platform Discord released a statement saying its servers were in no way involved in Tyler Robinson's alleged plot to assassinate Charlie Kirk. But it did say there were, quote, communications between the suspect's roommate and a friend after the shooting, where the roommate was recounting the contents of a note the suspect had left elsewhere. Can you tell us about that note that the shooter left?
Real quick, that's the other thing too, is that some of these platforms, how come, I don't know why they're not being held accountable for the content that occurs, because when it comes to kids, they're all over it. They'll, they make a billion policies, and they're quick to remove accounts and posts. But when it comes to stuff like this, well, we didn't know that stuff was happening. So you guys don't flag any keywords. You're not monitoring any of these communications. I know it's a lot of work to do, but it's your goddamn platform. And it looks really bad when you have people conspiring to take down political activists on your platform. But yeah, I know he's going to talk a little bit about it though. But Discord, that's another one too. They got to be brought up to Congress to have a conversation about, why didn't you guys know about this?
Yeah, absolutely they do, because we know for a fact that it's been proven in the past that other social media platforms, they kind of stereotype and block people that lean to the right. It's been proven before Elon got his hands on Twitter. That was proven multiple times. And
it's all been proven.
Mark Zuckerberg had to go and sit in front of
he admitted it
and have a conversation about censorship. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. It's funny. The only people that I see constantly getting banned is Coach Greg Adams, anyone that may be giving, and he's not red pill, but anyone that does do red pill, like Pearl Davis. I know she just got her monetization back though, but she has the same problem too, whether you like her or love her. There's a level of censorship that automatically occurs with her, anyone that, I mean, KS, I mean, had he lived a little bit longer, he probably would got censored at some point, even Fresh and a Fit. Like, yeah, I get it. Some people may not like their content though, but they are constantly being hounded by the social media algorithms out there. But all of a sudden, we can't get a hold of these people that are conspiring to take down elected officials. No one knows anything. Everyone's just like, hey, what's good? Yeah, we didn't know anything until it happened. All right.
Yeah, I gotta throw Minister Farrakhan in there too. He's been banned on all platforms as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Us regular people have to talk in code. Yeah. Staying unalive and baby deletion so our accounts don't get. Yeah, exactly. We have to start the J Crew, small hats.
Yep.
The Civid 19.
Big community.
Yeah. You got to say Yahtzee.
Yeah.
You say any of those words, they're coming after you. But when it comes to like, people trying to take down people on the right, yeah, no big deal. We're a bag of shells.
Nothing to see here.
For real.
So I can't yet. Again, those are things that are still being processed for accuracy and verification, and will be included in charging documents.
Okay, so but the note was found, or the content of the note is known by law enforcement?
Again, I can't
Okay.
share any specifics. They're looking at everything right now.
Understood. I just want to go back to my first question about what you told the Wall Street Journal about that this is a person indoctrinated with leftist ideology. And the reason why I think it would be great to be more specific is because your goal of trying to lower the temperature, you said that this is based on investigation and interviews with people who knew him. Did they just use the term leftist ideology, or did they give specifics?
Yeah, there are conversations that were discussed specifically about Charlie Kirk, other conversations about the direction that this was going. And look, my job is just to tell people I don't.
Yeah, he doing a lot of dancing. See, I can't stand people like this. We're done with him.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I get he can't talk about an ongoing investigation, but some of those questions he probably could have provided.
Yeah, and he should have.
Context.
Yeah, and he should have pushed back, because CNN has been some of the people, like she's trying to distance the conversation away from being leftist ideologies, because if they have to go down the path of talking about leftist ideologies, they have to start addressing it, and they do not want to address it, because that is where, I mean, I don't know who's behind it at CNN, but they have, like, it's almost they're in bed with it. And so if they have to start calling out, they're going to look like hypocrites. And you got to start somewhere. These media companies, these news companies, they're part of the problem too. And so I don't know if they're breaking the law, if their law can be, put out there. But they're pushing this, this divisive and terrible rhetoric against conservatives. And, TikTok, especially TikTok, because TikTok is supposed to be banned. They haven't been banned, and they've been contributing. I mean, they did help contribute to the election of Donald Trump, but now it seems to be taking down conservatives with the crazy rhetoric that gets spewed on there. And it's like Brando said, yeah, we have to talk in code, or we'll end up getting banned. And all these other companies, they just let it all fly.
And you know what's crazy? The Republicans they're outsmarting the Democrats in a lot of different ways right now. They've pretty much been doing that at least for the last year and a half, at least. They're going to take this, they're going to make him a martyr, and they're going to develop sympathy for their party and inspire more people to vote red next time around.
Mhm.
Just like with the whole crackdown on crimes in all these other cities that we talked about earlier, they're doing the exact same thing. They're making the public perceive the Dems to be weak on crime, and they're saying, okay, you're not going to fix your cities, so we'll fix it for you. So they're outsmarting them every single way. When Trump decided to go the podcast route, as opposed to doing interviews in the news outlets and talk with them for like 15 minutes with scripted questions, they outsmarted them there too. So they're going to take this situation and they're going to use it to outsmart the Dems, just like they've been doing.
Yeah. It's and the other thing with the way Trump is doing things, so the more that they crash out about Trump coming to their city by doing those protests and they turn violent, it creates a situation where he needs to bring in the troops. So they're playing right into Trump's hands. This is unfortunately, this is one of those things where, that's what Brando said. They're going to stage an event during Kamala's. Yeah, I bet that's going to happen too. Yeah,
Be
that
surprised.
just to jump to that real quick though, they honestly something like that could happen though, and that's you know, I don't want to put it out there, but it seems like something like that is going to happen though, because if Kamala is, if there's something that happens to her, the people are going to show up. People are going to rally behind her. They're going to automatically say white supremacy. This will be the perfect person to vilify, and they're going to make Kamala Harris into a damn hero. So yeah, I think
Well,
I think
Brando
you're
was
right.
saying that, assuming Kamala is going to be the one to challenge again. I think she fades away to the background. I really do.
I don't know. She's throwing Biden under the bus in that book, just from some of the excerpts that I've heard. And
That's a money hustle, though, TR. I'm talking about in terms of running for politics again. I think she's
I know.
good, at
No, no,
least at
no.
the
I'm
federal
saying
level.
that's what I'm saying is that she's doing the book to distance herself from Biden so she can get back into the elections. Because part of the things that sunk her campaign is that, hey, I wouldn't change anything with Biden. I think he's been a good president.
She
Like,
said that multiple times. So she had
yeah,
opportunities to distance. I was looking at, okay, like, what are you going to do different from him? Because he was frustrating a lot of people. And she had multiple opportunities to answer that question.
yeah,
But she never answered hard questions. She
yeah.
never did.
But I definitely think you're right, Brando, because I've been thinking about this too. Like, not that I want anything like this to happen, though, but considering how politics has escalated to a whole nother level, and we've only been seeing it for the most part impact people on the right. I know they had those two elected officials in Minnesota, but that was a left wing dude that did that. So, and that that was in the news cycle for maybe a week. But I think with the whole Kamala thing, I think you're right. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we're both wrong, actually. But yeah, I can see something happening.
No, they should put up Kamala and AOC on the next ticket.
Yeah. So AOC, shit. All right.